Hello.
Hello, Tracy. How nice to see you. I guess it's books at lunchtime again.
It must be lunchtime
It
again.
must be lunchtime. And today I want to ask you what wonderful biographies we have in the shop.
Biographies are seasonal, aren't they? You wouldn't think that they are, but people do seem to really be interested in a biography this time of year. There must be a reason for that. But anyway, people want them, so we've got them. And fortunately, there are lots of people out there who write them to make sure that we have something to give them. I always love the titles that biographies have. I think they're really clever because they capture something about the story that's going to be in them. Like Alan Davis writing about his childhood in Just Ignore Him. So most people know Alan Davis from QI, and he was in Jonathan Creek as well. But apparently he had a pretty tough childhood where he didn't get all the care and attention that he could have, and as a title, that comes up really well to express that. Move that phone out of reach. So this has been up a couple of months. We have 2 copies left, but there aren't that many copies left in bookshops at the moment because it has been very popular, and that is £18.99.
Most of these are hardbacks, aren't they, that we're talking about
yeah,
today?
they are going to be mostly hardbacks, I'm afraid. After about a year, they usually go into paperback, but there is the odd exception to that. But in terms of getting new books to talk about today, I pulled hardbacks off the shelf. A slightly shorter one is the biography of Stephen Hawking. Now, this is written by his friend and collaborator, Leonard, I'm going to say Mlodinov. I think that's probably close. He worked very closely with Hawking for a very long time, to the point that when he began to lose the ability of speech, Mlodinov was able to very much understand what he was thinking non-verbally, and was able to just help him to continue to communicate. It's meant to be very insightful, very humorous, very personal, very human, and to not just be a biography of his work, but very much a biography of the man himself. We were impressed enough with this that we did put this in the Christmas catalogue that we frequently talk about, but it's because I think it's a really special book, and it's not actually that long.
No.
So yeah, I think a nice choice to, I mean, I've tried reading Hawking's books, and I don't know, maybe I'm an intellectual wimp, but I've just found them so important and so dense that I haven't been able to get through them. But a human biography of the man, I think, would be a really interesting way to approach it. Now, if weight is what you're after and substance, this big book, I'm lifting with 2 hands.
Oh, wow. Yes.
So this is the new Barack Obama, which is out, has been out for about 3 weeks. It's been selling very, very well despite the price. It is £35. £35, so it might have to count for 2 or 3 gifts, actually. It's a big book, but gosh, he's clever, isn't he? And he's kind, and he's sexy. Fridays are good fun for background noise. And
thanks for that. Very useful insight.
It's going to be a really good read. He's so well read
as well, doesn't he? He's a really great writer.
He's a really great writer, and he's so well read himself. If a book comes through saying that he has recommended it, we just are able to sell it so instantly. It's got color photographs in it.
Oh.
So it's a really nice one for anyone who's interested in learning, writing, men of a certain age, politics, social justice. So it's a very nice book. Now, I said about books being slow coming out in paperback. It's a bit of a phenomenon in publishing. If a book does really well in hardback and people keep buying it, the publishers aren't going to put it in paperback because they want to keep making money from the hardback. So this book, speaking of the Obamas, Michelle Obama's biography, came out 2 Christmases ago, and it's still not in paperback. And
it's really good.
Still no, have you read it?
I've read it, and I mean, I'm a huge fan of the pair of them, actually.
Yeah.
And I find her so inspirational, and comments from the shop. I find her so inspirational, and again, her writing is lovely. Her story is very relatable, because we're all really, you know, first ladies somehow. No, that's not at all what I meant, but you know, she has a very human, approachable quality to her. So I can fully understand why that's remained in hardback, but I wouldn't let the fact that it is hardback put you off reading it. It's a good one.
It is a good one. She says, your story is what you have, what you will always have. It's something to own. So I have heard so many good things about this, and I do intend to read it myself. This one is not quite as expensive, but it is £25 with no paperback date in sight. So this came
so from the States to Great Britain for our next book.
So this came from out of nowhere during lockdown, and I should think everybody's aware of Captain Tom. There is a children's version as well. So everybody knows he's the one who did the walk in his back garden to raise money for the NHS. And I don't know how many millions and millions and millions he ended up raising, but far more than anyone ever imagined in their wildest dreams. And had a massive presentation and a flyby, and it was it captured everyone's imagination, really, didn't it? It was really something very special. So there are 2 children's books, I think. There's a little picture book biography about Captain Tom now, and there's the children's version of this book. And this has some photographs of his life. There aren't loads and loads of photographs, but maybe 8 pages, I don't know. Pictures of people on motorbikes and people with dogs, and period photography for 100 years, really. It's going to be a kind of potted history of the last 100 years. Through a century filled with drama and great change, I've always looked on the bright side. I've lived through war and heartache, triumph and tragedy, and yet I'm still here, so I can only believe that tomorrow will be a good day. So that is £20. Similar era. This was on television recently, and so this is the story similarly about hope, the happiest man on earth. So Eddie Jaku was an Auschwitz survivor, and the premise here is that he realized that everyone he knew had died, and everyone that he had in life, all of that had gone. So rather than despair, his response, he decided, would be to enjoy life and to find joy in life, because he was the one who had to carry it and to carry that memory for everyone. So it's very much a story of hope, and actually quite nice for now when people are feeling a bit grim. I don't think it's about Auschwitz. I think it's about surviving Auschwitz. That is £14.99, and it's not too big, so it's not going to be too intimidating. And again, it has some photographs.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. So completely on the other end of the scale, for people who want to be entertained, everyone has a story, as Mrs. Obama said. And so here is Philip Schofield's story. So yes, on the back, there's this drawing that says, I'm wearing my own clothes. They don't quite fit. Maybe I'll grow into them. There's a bit of a theme here, isn't there, in the biographies about...
Yeah, there really is. I think it's a broader theme, actually, that we're finding across books generally, very much in children's books, but also quite a lot of adults' books about owning who you are and where you've come from.
Yes, and at the moment, we have some signed book plates that we can pop in here that Mr. Schofield has held in his own hand and signed and sent off to us, that we can give you with these. We will run out, but at the moment we have several left. So that would be an added nice touch to a gift. Also off the television, Mr. Clarkson keeps writing. So, I mean, it's light, isn't it? And it's going to be fairly obnoxious, and it's going to have lots of engines in it and lots of opinions in it. Um, and it's going to offend someone, but actually it's going to be, we've got a few giggles in the background here. It's going to be good fun. They're going to be bits to read out loud to the other people that you're spending Boxing Day with. It says, so he made his name on Top Gun as, not Top Gun, Top Gear. Yeah, Top Gear. that doesn't even bear thinking about him in Top Gun. These days you might know him better as a tractor driving gentleman farmer. So it's about what happened next, I think. So that's Jeremy Clarkson's newest installation to English letters. Victoria Wood, everybody loves Victoria Wood. She didn't get a chance to write her biography, but Jasper Rees was very thorough in how he got the family's cooperation and access to archive material, and came up with a pretty substantial book. She was so witty and so clever and really human, and she was just great, wasn't she? And
yeah, she was. We were watching Dinner Ladies again recently at home, and it's just, I'd forgotten how timeless it is. Like, that's a rare gift, to be able to create something that just endures.
It really is.
Yeah. So it's a joy when you find people discovering her for the first time. It's a treat.
It really is. And here's another one where the title really suits. So this biography is called Let's Do It, which is a reference to that song, but also about that theme we're finding in all of these books about get on with life, make it your own your own life. So yeah, but if you've not watched the Let's Do It video, find it. It's really funny.
That's exactly what we all need right now, I think, at this point in the year.
Yes. So this one is £20, so you do get good value for money in this one. I'm interested in this myself, actually. I've only got two more football biographies.
Yes.
I'm afraid it's not my specialist subject, so I've just taken two off the shelf. So I've got here Jamie Redknapp, which is Me, Family, and the Making of a Footballer. I don't know how to interpret that, called. And Luka Modric, my autobiography. They tend to be, again, like we were saying, that the theme is about where I came from, where I was going, what it means to me, and how it might be able to help other people. I don't want to overgeneralize, but it's not my specialist subject, and actually an awful lot of people are very interested in them. So just to say, these and many others are available.
Yeah. I think they're really important books right now. I mean, Marcus Rashford extraordinary, and I'm going to use the term young man, which is really going to make me feel old, but he's an extraordinary person to be able to do what he's done this year, and also increasingly is giving a voice to kind of literacy and the joy of reading to people. So I think that if our young people need a little bit of inspiration, it's wonderful that there are these books that can connect them with the lives of people who've done it, to borrow Victoria Wood's phrase. So yeah, there, as you said, there are some really good football biographies around at the moment, and it's almost, you sort of pick a player and then find the corresponding biography, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think reading any of these would make you see life just slightly differently, having looked closely at someone's life. So we do recommend finding a biography to read, but there's lots to choose from. And if you don't fancy any of these, there are plenty more to choose from. You can always ring us and have a chat about what we might have and what we can get. So yeah, happy reading.
Indeed. Thanks, Tracy.
Thanks, Sam. See you later. Bye.